Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Honorable. I mean, it's obvious we'll just have to start with you. And, okay, let me begin with the charge, from the leaders of the National Assembly, both the President of the Senate and the Speaker, to the legislators when you were all going for your recess. And he did say that, of course, recess should not be a holiday, but a time for serious constituency work, project, and oversight. And I'm just wondering, from your perspective, would you say legislators truly complied?
Oh, sure. Even yesterday, the Constitutional Review Committee met, public hearing at the national level. And before the national level, that committee, particularly taking it as an example, the committee also met in the 6 geopolitical zones, two venues per zone. That's the group 3 states together. So throughout this holiday, they were not sleeping. And they finished all of that now. That's an example. So I can go on to give examples of other committees. I was in Sokoto with the Constitutional Review Committee, for instance. Yesterday I was in Transcorp.
I was going to ask you to walk us through how you were able to balance your 2 months vacation,
yes,
and your constitutional duties.
Well, you have to find a way to do that because the vacation really, it's a time for you to get feedback from your constituents, and you can't do without that, or otherwise you'll not be an effective legislator. You have to reach back to your people. They'll talk to you, you talk to them, you tell them what's happening over here. They tell you what they feel, what they want, and you see what's on ground. So that mechanism must take place. So when you are not on oversight duties, you get back home. And particularly now that everywhere people are talking about the elections, you just have to be home as much as you can.
So are members now fully ready to resume our legislative duties?
Sure. I know a number of members who have said they were getting tired of the holiday, staying at home, and the pressure that comes from being at home, the pressure when you're in your constituency because of the where we find ourselves as a country.
All right. You say that the members of the National Assembly were busy. Maybe you can speak for yourself, because I don't know if you can speak for all the members. I mean, for the House of Reps and the Senate, because of course, yes, we did see quite a few, on TV in their constituencies and, different projects being launched, but so many were not visible. You also talked about some willing to resume. Why do you think some are very eager to resume?
This matter of legislative activity, it depends on the individual. Nigerians, constituents should look at your legislator. If he is not attending plenary, if he is not keeping his office hours at the constituency office, if he is not doing his job you elected him to do, if he is not involved in oversight, you will know. And then every 4 years you know what to do. That's what Nigerians should do. But I must tell you that the vast majority of the members of this 10th Assembly were busy all through. I don't want to take the whole time. After that, I will give you details of committees where they went, when and where and all that. You saw the one on the dam, the abandoned dam in the northeast that they visited. I saw it on NTA. So I can go on and give you several examples. So there are many who are very excited. In this 10th Assembly, we have a crop of young legislators who are excited to be members of parliament and who wants to prove that they can do something. And those ones particularly, you have to try to stop them. As chairman of Rules and Business, I have like one member will have like 30 proposed bills, 20 proposed bills. And I keep saying, young man, you just came, calm down. You will be here in the 11th Assembly and God help you in the 12th. You can't do all the bills in one assembly. And we are 360. We can't take you every day. So I can only list you on the other paper, maybe at best once in 2 weeks. So you have to start putting that gentle pressure on them. So that's why I say they are excited, they are eager to come back to work.
This eagerness, does this include the fact that, I mean, in the news we're hearing that members are complaining about the fact that contractors have not been paid who embarked in certain projects in their different constituencies. Could that be one of the reasons they are eager to return so that something can be done about that?
No, I think what you are saying now is already being handled. Not just for constituency projects, every project in the 2024 budget. The House, the honorable members are like, these are Nigerians who have done jobs in 2024. 2025 is coming to an end. They should be paid. A committee has been set up, and that committee is working. Your station reported the meeting with the honorable minister, and the resolutions taken. The circular that was provocative and causing the delay has been withdrawn. And project verification is ongoing. And I'm sure those that are verified are being paid. So that matter is already settled, as it were. So I don't think it's part of the reason why we are excited about coming back to work.
Okay. Because the papers still reported that story this morning. That's the reason I'm asking you.
Of course, the National Assembly is the whipping boy of Nigerian democracy. If your wife refused you last night, National Assembly must be the reason why. We know that during the military, there was no legislature. So when you are in a democracy and you are learning, it becomes missteps here and there, and you keep growing. Unlike the judiciary that was there during the military, though under this control and, and the executive, the military had their commissioners, ministers and all that, so everybody knew what to expect, but not for the legislature. So it's still a learning curve. So if people keep throwing stones, I wouldn't be surprised, because even in mature democracies, I must say that legislatures all over the world are not popular. They are asked to do the needful always. They are put on their toes. We do peer review with legislatures in other countries. So we go there, we watch them in session. We go to their constituency office, we talk with them. We know what happens. Recently, the Public Accounts Committee hosted the West African Association of Public Account Committees of Parliaments in West African countries here in Abuja. And we, on the sidelines of the proper discussion, you talk with your colleagues, what happens in your place. They go through the same. If I was sitting during one session with a lady from, I think she was from Ghana, and she was getting a text message asking for money. At that same moment, I was sending money to somebody. So she said, that looks like you are sending money. So she showed me a phone.
Honorable Waive, thank you. But leadership comes with some form of responsibility. I mean, that should also be part of your constituency project. The money is being sent to members of your constituents. But let's welcome
for your comments. So let's get back to Honorable now. You spoke earlier about the members being very eager. Of course, Nigerians too are eager to have them back. Hoping that some of the issues that have, hit at the polity while you were on break, will be dealt with. For example, the increase in the fee for passports, that's one issue. There's so many other issues. But since you're a member, what are the issues you think would be front burner, once you resume?
First, I would say the issues that were on ground before we went on recess. We would continue from there. Each member, for instance, you have your bills. If they are at a particular stage, you want to move it to the next stage. First reading to second reading and so on. So that's number one. Then number two, the matters of urgent public importance in the various constituencies. Members will want to bring them to the floor. And then three, the matters of national importance, not just limited to your constituency now. Members would bring them up. you know. And then the next thing that everybody is looking at is the constitutional review. The Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie-Kalu, the Deputy Speaker of the 10th House, has done a tremendous, very good work. And during this last quarter, we are looking forward to wrapping it up, because the committee divided the work into two. And so in this last quarter, that will be wrapped up. He's done a great job for this country. And with the Senate, I think we're going to harmonize and make a presentation to the state houses. But usually, when we come back from this recess, the major thing is the budget for the next year. So we'll be expecting the budget.
Do you think talking about the 2026 budget will be important at this time when the 2025, I mean, the implementation around it is not yet...
the way the budget is usually prepared, it has a lifespan. It is not the business of the legislature to execute the budget. And we did the budget 1st January to 31st December. We expect that the budget will be respected and implemented. Even during those days, when budget implementation was 10, 20, maybe 50%, it doesn't stop presenting for the next year. But in presenting the next year's budget, you discuss the previous. What were the challenges? What happened? So it doesn't stop presenting a new budget. A new budget must be presented, but then you discuss the previous. 2024, 2025 budgets have been implemented in terms of personnel, overhead, recurrent expenditure and all that. It's the capital aspect that has been challenging. I can say, sitting here, that 2024 is going... It's getting to be completed shortly.
This is September, by the way.
Yes. It's the style of the new president. Previous presidents will just close the chapter. We've had situations in this country where monies are returned to the treasury, where there has been releases, you know. But I think that this government believes that we lose value for money. Take, for instance, before the present FCT minister, the previous one was returning money every year. If you look at what those monies could have done in terms of infrastructure in the FCT, the value of those nairas he was returning then is no longer the same. So the country has lost. So where you have a president that now insists on let's finish the work, I think we should appreciate the angle from which he's coming. Even if it looks like you're operating two budgets now, the capital content, or 2025, 2025 at the same time, we should appreciate the fact that this man wants to achieve 100% implementation. And this is his style. It's different from what we have seen in the past. And let's look at this style, whether it is working. We are here in the FCT. We can see what this style has produced, results. So I think we should allow the president to continue.
Don't you think that having two budgets or three budgets, because I mean, if you're working on 2026 very soon, so technically to look like about three budgets. I mean,
no.
So because 2024, well, about rounding off 2025, I hear that by the end of this September, you know, the capital part of it will be fully implemented. But I mean, this is September, just like 3 months to the end of the year, and then when you pass the 2026, don't you think it would lead to certain issues, maybe corruption or anything?
No. By the time we are doing 2026 budget, 2026, the lifetime of 2024 and 2025 would have elapsed. The executive would have to seek for an extension of the life of those budgets if there is a need for that. But legally speaking, on the 31st of December 2025, the lifespan of those budgets would be over.
All right.
So the 2026 budget, when signed into law, becomes the budget in 2026. I do not see the presidency requesting for a further extension of the 2024 budget lifespan. You already said it would exhaust, completely be executed, all the capital projects at the end of September. So it's 2025 that is the likelihood that the capital content will be extended further into 2026. And I don't see anything wrong with that. It's good for our country.
And we'll allow you to, take a breather. We'll come back to you. And I also have a response to the earlier remarks about, the quantum of, issues that you have. You said if a woman refuses, the husband, the legislators will be blamed. I will respond to that when we come back, because we have a...
You said it's breaking news.
Yes.
So I'm here while it's been announced.
So it's breaking to you too?
Yeah, that's
but I want to say to my brother here that the issues he raised, some of them take inflation. Inflation is going down. Everybody has acknowledged that. So it's not a matter that is urgent to... There have been matters, there have been times in the past where we're called back from recess, particularly in the 9th Assembly, to come back to discuss urgent matters. So we do that. That we have not done it this time is because there were no such critical issues of national... meanwhile, the committees were working. We must give it to this government that the inflation is coming down, because you referred to that. So our country is getting better. And then I must also say that those in leadership would have looked at a number of things. For instance, next week is Independence. And ordinarily, even if we had resumed, say, 15th of September, for instance, when you get to the week of Independence, you wouldn't sit that week also. So resuming today would ordinarily mean you sit this week, and next week you are off again for Independence. I'm just trying to make sense out of the breaking news, and, but
can you make Nigerians understand? You talked about the fact that oversight functions continues. Speak to us about the benefits to members of the National Assembly. Are all your benefits intact when you're on recess?
It's if you look at recess as a time when you don't work. And then if you look at the average worker, when you're on leave, you still get paid. In fact, you are paid leave allowance. But we are not paid a recess allowance. If anybody brings that up...
There's no leave allowance. You are paid your salary. There's no leave allowance.
You say?
We don't get leave allowance.
No leave allowance.
In NTA?
No leave allowance for civil servants.
Okay.
If you are on leave, you.
So we don't get recess allowance. I've never been in the civil service.
Are there allowances for your oversight functions or no?
No, just provisions for it. For instance, if I'm going to go to FRCN for an oversight, there must be a provision of vehicle to get there. There must be water to drink.
Anyways.
So all those basic
okay,
things.
so technically the benefits are not changed.
Sorry. Because he is a representative. I mean, you are a lawmaker. Yeah. You have your constituents. They are watching at this moment. I do understand you don't want to go into details of the resumption shift, but just give us some clarity. Your constituents would certainly want to know. I mean, if this delay won't affect other legislative assignments.
I don't think so, because, usually in Parliament, the size of the order paper depends on what is happening in the country at the moment, I am Chairman of Rules and Business. The order paper we had prepared for today and the notice paper for the week was very light. 2 motions, 2 bills, second reading bills, and that kind of thing, So when there are serious matters as we go on, you could get up to 10, 15 second reading bills. So if anything comes up within these 2 weeks, it simply means that we should be getting ready for longer sittings when we resume. it means that it's going to be more work and more stress to the individual members. If you look at the legislative work, one of the things that affect us mostly is stress. And you find that many times when people leave the National Assembly, they don't live long. And for many who are there, they go through stress-related diseases. In the 9th Assembly, we lost, is it 9 or 10? In this Assembly, we've lost quite a good number. I don't want to talk about negatives.
All right. So
it is quite a pressure being in the National Assembly. But you beg to apply, and your constituents sent you there. Okay. So they didn't force you in.
All right.
But nothing will get bad. When we resume, we'll load our order paper and we'll tackle everything that needs to be tackled. Remember, time passed, we've given up our Christmas holidays. While Nigerians celebrating Christmas, we're working. We've done that in the past, and we'll still do that again.
All right, many thanks. You spoke earlier about the members who were eager to resume. I'm sure they'll be disappointed with this breaking news, like you claim it is. But speak about internal.
You said it's breaking news,
but you also said it's breaking to you. You know, I'm a bit surprised about that. But speak about internal squabbles. I mean, this assembly we've seen a lot of issues, contentions amongst members. Do you think that with this resumption, there'll be some form of I do not know the word to use, some form of peace, amongst members? Are we going to see all the issues, in different quarters being laid to rest? Or you think that Nigerians should get prepared for another phase of, issues, especially political tensions now that we're planning towards 2027? Or rather, politicians are already scheming towards 2027.
If you study the parliamentary year, session in each assembly, you'll notice that where we have gotten to now, it's no longer the time when it's popular to rock the boat, because at this time most people are thinking about re-election. We have a year, 6 months thereabout left. Most people are now thinking about how to get re-elected. So I do not foresee any, not even a storm in the teacup. I don't expect that to happen. Most people are looking forward to how they will secure their own seats. I don't see any problem coming up. No, the time for that is when you elect your leaders newly, committee chairmen are appointed, and there's some dissatisfaction, and then as the tenure goes on, there's some conflict. We've passed that stage. We have reached a stage where each person is looking forward to the 11th Assembly. In fact, if you look at the trend, during this kind of period, attendance dwindles, because those who don't used to do things in their constituency will now be more focused there, attend town hall meetings, try to garner support, make sure you win the primaries. So it makes activities on the floor normally to slow down. I'm not saying that's what is going to happen now, because when we resume, it's going to be a full flare of activities, particularly because of the budget the time to handle has become shorter,
All right, so, Honorable Ejiro, thank you. Professor Martin, let the Honorable Member take this question before.
Well, if you have been in Parliament, you will know that it's a full-time job. All over the world, in most democracies, I would say, it's not part-time, because it's, particularly when you running a presidential system, it's impossible to, and then even if you do a parliamentary system. But when you do a hybrid, some countries do a hybrid, and some just do a novel system, and then they add and remove some things from the presidential and the parliamentary to get their own systems. But if you want to do part-time in Nigeria, it will be very challenging. The people think, the only people who talk about part-time think legislative work is only done on the floor, that's in plenary. But the truth is that what happens in plenary is just a show. If I were going to plenary today, for instance, I could be on my hat and my wrapper and you know, with my
traditional
beads.
attire.
Yeah, my traditional attire. But when I'm going for committee work, I won't do that. I'll be smartly dressed and ready to
Sweat it out.
Sweat it out. So the parliament work is usually at the committee level.
The oversight work you talk about so much.
Yeah.
What has been some of the great impacts, you know, to how services rendered to Nigerians? I mean, the different agencies that you oversight. Because, I mean, rarely these days do we get to see you raise issues of concern. I mean, if you go to an institution and things are not working well, it's just very few times that we get to hear about that. So how well are you doing the oversight function that you talk about as your main duty? Yeah,
the reason why you don't hear about that so much is because bad news for National Assembly is what sells. Good news does not. I'll give you an example. A few months ago, just before I went on break, the Public Accounts Committee again, for instance, brought a report which I listed, which was passed by the Committee of the Whole and then passed by the House, indicting a couple of agencies being asked to refund hundreds of millions, even billions in some cases.
But if that is not reported, who is to blame?
No.
If it's not reported.
Our job is to do it on the floor. Our job is not to start running around every agency. You see, is the news media, the fourth estate of the realm, they call it? You are the one, or the fifth, you are the one that you pick up that news and make sure it sells round. Do we have to, you know, go around and start ringing a bell and say, that didn't, that's an example. I'll give sir, I can give you several other examples. You see something that is going wrong and you ask that the particular head of that agency be changed. And before you know it, the news media has been compromised not to give publicity to that. So that's the challenge we face.
What about the many closed-door sessions you have when you go on such oversights?
Closed-door sessions. Many of the closed-door sessions, there are some, for instance, we went to Maiduguri the other day, and we had this, we went around, we saw what the military is grappling with. By the time we want to now deal with sensitive matters about their postings and what happened yesterday.
What makes them sensitive? What makes them sensitive? I mean, because
you want to tell your opponent how the military is being deployed. You want to mention specifically those who were lives that were lost at such point. You don't want to do that.
We understand that.
Then if you even go into, the other day we were in Kano to look at the electricity distribution company. After they've done everything they should do, you now are scrutinizing their books. You don't want to indict somebody who, there are some things you may not understand. And you are now asking, why is this like this? And I'm an accountant by training. There are some who may not be. And then they see a figure in the book and then they ask a question that might be out of point. But then the press might pick it and say that problem is there in the Kano disco.
So those
are some of the things. But Nigerians have reached a conclusion that at the closed-door sessions, money changes hands. I wish it was so, because when I got into National Assembly...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wish it was so. If you check the proportion of those who are affluent while they are there and those who are affluent when they leave, the proportion is very small. Take those who flound their vehicles and everything, who have left. I don't want to call any name. Check the number of those who were there at the same time with them. Many are suffering and many are dead. Now, if you look at what happens, when I got in newly, I had a small challenge, and somebody gave me an advice. Say, when you get into the assembly, be prepared to lose friends, because you won't meet their demands, all of them. Prepare to lose your health, because you are going to be, the stress will be heavy.
I'm sorry, I have to...
Also prepare to lose your wealth.
Please,
if you came in with ₦1 million,
yes,
by the time you are leaving, be sure that you are owing 10 million. So be careful.
Sorry, can I ask you to pause a bit, because we have more questions, and we're running out of time, so that we can take some more questions from our guests. So this is from Abraham. He says, let the National Assembly inform the masses about constituency projects and the amounts. He says, Nigerians are left in the dark. The honourable member should explain why you postponed your resumption. Then there's this one, no name. Good morning, beautiful people and NTA, both to staff and invite. Okay, this is Francis. I'm very much impressed with the discussion of today. One of the invited guests talked about Nass duties on oversight as it relates to the social welfare funds transferred into the accounts of vulnerable Nigerians. I highly doubt and have my reservation if Nass has been diligent in carrying out this oversight function. And like I also said, the oversight, what is the oversight weight that you bring to bear in the implementation of capital releases and all that? Because a lot of MDAs complain of either the delay, half releases, or have not even received their capital.
Yeah, I'll begin from the value of constituency project. It's there in the open. It's always stated in the annual budget. If you don't want to do the hard work, there are some civil society organizations that help with that. Budget it, for instance. So these days, on your phone, you can Google it and get it. So to say that value is being hidden is not true at all. It's clearly stated in the budget. And you have access to the budget online and everywhere. Talking about
resumption shift,
I'll first deal with the one on
welfare oversight.
Yes, yeah, oversight is being done. Take the social welfare. I don't want to go into very specific names. But you will find what has happened in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. I must say that Parliament played a great role to bring to bear the fact that some things were going wrong. It's part of the legislative oversight, the derivative that we got from that. But of course, we didn't get the benefit of the applause because we are never applauded for anything that we have done right, and there are many things that
you keep saying that. You keep saying that.
Yeah,
these gentlemen have praised the National Assembly.
Oh, thank you very much.
They have had good words. Professor Mato has also said good words.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So I think you need to be more transparent and accountable.
Thank you.
Because he has parried the issue.
A comment here from a viewer. It says, hello, good morning, Nigeria. I'm Ahmed Ibrahim. If a legislator in the House claims to be unaware of the sudden extension of recess, does this not point beyond the lack of unity to deeper issues of transparency, internal governance, coordination, and respect for due process in the Senate and House of Reps when urgent crises are facing Nigerians? I think Dr.
Yes, you have the last word.
Yeah.
Yes.
The 10th House of Representatives has brought in openness a week every session, every year, where you can go in and ask any question. You can see anything. Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, PhD, as Speaker, the Right Honorable Speaker, has instituted the openness. And this 10th Assembly is one of the most open in the history of our country, and it's going to be more open as we push for that. So,
are you going to be open to Ibrahim's comment? Ibrahim Wada, she just read a comment, a message from Ahmed Ibrahim. Ahmed Ibrahim says, a legislator in the House claims to be unaware of the sudden extension of recess. Does this not point beyond a lack of unity? No, please, we don't want to push you, but can you give in 60 seconds?
Yeah, we got the breaking news of the postponement this morning. And so we're going to interrogate it, of course. And it was signed by the clerk. Members are going to interrogate it, of course.
All right, thanks. It's time to put off our mics and.
Indeed, I like that.
Yes, we need to put off our mics. Oh, you didn't get your 60 seconds. We have put off the mic. So some other time. Some other time we will give you the opportunity. Thank you so much for being our guest. We do appreciate you. Dr. Aminu Hayatu, Department of Political Science, Barrow University, Kano. Thank you so much for being our guest and sharing your insights with us. Professor Kabiru Mato, political scientist, who joined us via Zoom. Thank you so much, Prof, for your thoughts and comments on the program this morning. You are deeply appreciated. And of course, Amsri Ajanaku, please remind us next time you're here that we need to extend your mic when next you come.
When the Senate resumes.
When the Senate resumes officially. Yeah. Amsri Ajanaku, Executive Director, Grassroots Center for Rights and Civic Orientation. It was indeed a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yes, you got the breaking news from us, so you need to maybe, tip us or something. I mean, Ejiroghene Francis Waive, Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Rules and Business, and member representing Ughelli North and South Udu Federal Constituency. It was indeed a delight to have you. Thank you so much. And of course, wishing you all the best as we resume, in a few days. And we hope to...
Few weeks.
Okay. All right. We hope it's not extended further, by the way. So yes, and of course we hope to have you back, when resumption kicks off, and of course all the issues that we have talked about. So that's Good Morning Nigeria this Tuesday. Thank you for watching. I'm Yan Ray John. Don't touch the dial.
I'm Claire Adelabu Abdurrahman.